Hey guys, my name is Blaine Jackson. I'm the owner and operator of SoCal Outfitters, which is part-time guide service here in Southern California. We do waterfowl, deer, pigs, bow fishing, and a couple other things in our free time. One thing that I want to do, just to get the word out, is make a quick video about blood trailing deer, how to go through the necessary steps to increase your chances of being able to recover a wounded animal, a wounded deer, wounded elk, whatever it is, wounded bear. I guess a bear is a little bit different because they might end up trailing you, but in this case, we're really going to be talking wounded deer. So wanted to start off with a couple things. First off, I've got a blood trailing dog, which I'm able to utilize during certain times of the year. Different states have different regulations. California has one regulation. There's portions in California, some of the federal installations, where they've got some variances in the regulations as far as utilizing a dog to recover a wounded animal. And like I said, other states have different regulations. So make sure you check with your regulations before you go grabbing your dog and training it up to trail wounded animals. So I've got a dog inside. His name's Jagger. He's helped me recover probably half a dozen deer for other people. He's helped me find one deer for myself, but it's just been a fun thing teaching him how to trail deer. It was the first thing I taught him. I got him when he was a puppy, but I've helped other people and walked them through how to train their adult dogs as well on blood trailing. So I'm going to start off with some of the training stuff, the tools you need to get started. It's pretty basic. First thing, you're going to have to get yourself some deer blood. This is some watered down deer blood. It's been sitting in the fridge for a little while, so it's not too fresh. You're going to need just a water bottle. I got a little extra water in there so we can stretch this blood out a little ways. I'm actually going to put the rest of this deer blood in this water bottle, so we're really going to water this down. I've got a pretty experienced blood trailing dog, but when you're starting out, you really want to have a good thick blood to water ratio, just to give the dog every advantage possible. You're going to need some treats. Doesn't necessarily have to be venison. This is just chunks of venison, trimmings from some steak that I cooked the other night. So you're all going to have to find yourself some venison, so you might need to borrow that from a friend or something. You're going to want some rubber boots for your dogs, just to make sure they're not trailing you when you're starting out. Again, I've got a pretty seasoned dog, so I'm not going to worry about the boots. This is just going to be another exercise for him. But you do want to make sure your pup or even your adult dog, when you're starting out, go ahead and just take the extra precaution. Wear some rubber boots when you're training your pup. You're going to want a lead for your dog. This is not something that you want to have on your dog all the time. You want this to be a specific harness or a specific key that tells your dog, hey, it's time to go to work, it's time to start trailing blood. So this harness here, I only put it on Jagger, who is a 2.5-year-old pointer pit bull mix. He's a pretty cool, versatile dog. I run with my other hunting dogs. So this only goes on him when it's time to trail blood. So I'm gonna just show you guys real quick what I do to get started. Now, if you've got a puppy, you want to make this as fun as possible starting out. You're just going to start off with just little trails of blood, and you're going to leave, and I got a hole drilled in the top of this, you're going to leave treats along the way. When they start off, you're only going to do this for about 10 yards, and maybe every 5 feet, you're going to have treats all the way at the end and a big old treat at the end so the dogs stay motivated. And as the dog gets older and things progress in their training, you stretch things out. So I'm going to kind of jump ahead steps here. I'm going to show you just a quick demonstration on what Jagger can do in the dirt with a blood trail and with some prizes at the end. Okay, so starting out, again, I've got the hole in the top here. I'm going to start off with, say, hey, you know, this is the spot where the animal first got hit. The blood's going to be pretty good. I'm going to make sure it lands on some vegetation so the dog can find it. And again, you want them to start off pretty motivated. So we're going to leave a nice little chunk of meat there. I am going to grab this camera real quick, and I'm just going to film walking down here. So the whole way I am, and this isn't the freshest blood, it should be fresher. Same thing with the meat. I planned on doing this a couple days ago, but here I go. Then put a piece of meat down, and then again just some bloody water as I go here. Now the more your dog progresses, the harder you want to make the track. So this one's going to be pretty easy. We're going to turn up here, make it a little tricky for the dog. Then right here at the end, I'm going to really put a bunch here. And then I'm going to pour the rest of the meat out there. That's just good practice. So, I'm going to run back here. Okay, so heading back up to our tools here. What we need, we did the blood trail. We did the meat in the beginning, and we did the meat at the end is a prize for the dog. So we're gonna let that scent soak into the ground a little bit, give it a little bit of time. In the meantime, just want to talk, not so much shot placement, because you know, a good shot in the vitals should be common knowledge. Everyone should know it from hunter safety. But you know, you're aiming for the heart, you're aiming for the lungs. You know, a good double lung shot, waiting for a good shot to present itself when you're hunting with a bow, especially, or even with a rifle. Don't overestimate the power of a rifle and think that you can just take any shot on an animal, because plenty of guys lose animals, deer in particular, even if they are shooting a high-powered rifle. So, and I've heard of, just this season, I think I've heard of probably close to half a dozen guys losing deer during the archery season between hunting here and hunting in Arizona. And you know, that's too bad. It's a kind of a black spot for archery hunting and hunting in general is drawing blood on an animal and not being able to recover it. So, you know, I just ask that, you know, everyone, before you take a shot, know your limits. Have some respect for the animal and know your limits, and not take anything that's outside of your own personal capabilities. The yellow jacket. So now, if you do draw blood, you know, you've got to make a decision on how long you're going to take before you go to try and recover your animal, assuming you don't watch it die. If you don't watch it die, the first rule of thumb is I'd say probably back out for at least an hour before you go make an assessment on the status of the animal or the kind of shot you made. That's assuming you did not watch the animal die. So back out for an hour. This is whether you hit it with a rifle or a bow, but especially with a bow. Once you go in, try and make an assessment on how much blood is actually coming out of the animal, and also the type of blood it is. If you get that real dark, rich blood, it could be heart blood. If you get kind of a foamy blood, it could be lung blood. That's where you get, it'll be kind of a lighter color. There'll be bubbles in the blood, and you probably hit lungs. Now, if you hit guts or you hit liver, it's going to be kind of a lighter color. It'll have a different smell to it. It won't just be that pure blood. So keep an eye out for that as well. So unless you hit heart or lungs and you're positive of that shot, you definitely have to give it some time. If you did hit liver or guts, you're gonna have to come back the next day because the animal's not gonna die right away. So keep that in mind. If you're hunting an area where you might not be able to get back into the area, just work with your local wardens, your local biologist, or whoever it may be. Work with them and see if they can help you to recover the animal and get back in there maybe the next day and look for the animal. If you do have access to a tracking dog, or if you have a dog at home and you take some of these tips that I'm giving you right here on training a tracking dog, give it enough time, come back with your tracking dog. And once you do that, once you have your dog trained and you get in there with your dog, it's TYD, which any dog handler will tell you means trust your dog. So once you have the dog trained, you know what it can do, you're confident that it has the ability to go out in the field, you need to make sure you trust the dog when you take it out, because the dog's nose is gonna win any debate in the field that you're having with it. And when you're trailing, keep in mind, when you are trailing with a dog, keep in mind the last place that you had blood, the last place you for sure had sign, is the most important place that you need to keep in mind while you're trying to locate that animal. Until you find another spot of blood or another track that you're sure is the animal that you hit, that spot, that speck of blood is still the most important part of your blood trail. And after that, you can't make any assumptions. You can't rule anything out. A deer will do a 360. It'll do a 90-degree turn. It'll run 200 yards, backtrack, go back the other way. They do all kinds of stuff. I've seen them run down creeks and then run back and then jump across the creek again. Just all kinds of crazy stuff. So keep in mind, the last place you had blood, the last place you had a guaranteed location on that deer is the most important spot, because you could be walking in circles right around it, especially here in Southern California. So yeah, keep that in mind. I'm gonna go grab Jagger. One thing I want you to pay attention to is when I do put the collar on him, just where his nose goes. He knows once he gets this collar on that it's time for him to go to work and start tracking blood. Jagger. Come here, dude. Jagger, come. Jagger, come. Sit. See his nose? You see him, his nose goes to the ground right away. Follow me out here. So I didn't give him a command or anything yet. He just knows that when this harness goes on, that it's time for him to start tracking. cat. Okay, Jack, check it out. So he just found one of the treats I left to get the trail going. Good boy, Jagger. Track it up. So we didn't do too many turns, but he kind of gets, he knows this drill. This is pretty basic for him. He did make a turn here, so we'll see if he catches it. There you go. Yeah. So he's drifting it now. Good boy, Jagger. Good boy, good boy. That's the end of our drag. That's the end of our drag right there. So his prize is a bunch of refrigerator cured meat in the fridge. So anyhow, that's our demonstration. Remember, guys, know your shots, know your capabilities, be patient, have respect for the animal, and try to make the cleanest kill possible. And if you got a dog at home, give it a try. Try teaching them the blood trail. All you need is a little bit of blood, a little bit of deer meat, and you're well on your way to training a blood tracking dog. So anyhow, be seeing you guys. Blaine Jackson, SoCal Outfitters. Take care.